All right, so when subtracting mixed fractions, there's like 3 rules you need to remember. With any addition and subtraction, you have to have a common denominator. So the first rule is common denominator. If you don't have that, you can't do the subtraction. So I look at the 10 and the 5 and go, what can I make both of those turn into to be common? 5 times 2 gives me 10, so I can just change the second one. So if I do times 2 on the numerator and the denominator, I get 10 on the bottom, 8 on top. Then I just rewrite my problem like so. So then the second part to this is the subtraction. I only subtract the numerator. The denominator is not going to change. So I can already go ahead and write my denominator down there. You don't have to make any changes. So I look at the 3, and can I subtract 8 from 3? I cannot. The 8 is larger, so I need to borrow from this 5. So I borrow, it becomes a 4. Like in normal subtraction, every time you borrow from a whole number, it's worth 10, or whatever the denominator is. In this case, it is a 10, so that's nice. So I'm just going to say 10 plus 3, which gives me 13. So now I can subtract 13 minus 8, which is 5, and then 4 minus 2, which is 2. So then my answer would be 2 5/10. So let me do another one. I actually don't like doing subtraction vertically. I was going to show it to you. I prefer subtraction with mixed numbers horizontally. Let me grab another example, which I think you've already done this, but I'll show it to you. So if I were to have 9 and 5/6 minus 4.5, so I prefer fractions horizontally. Again, I look at the denominator, 6 and 2. I can make the 2 turn into a 6 by multiplying this whole fraction times 3. So then just rewrite it. So I'm going to rewrite my first one, 9 and 5/6 minus 4, because that doesn't change. 3 times 2 is 6, which is what I wanted. 3 times 1 is 3. So now I have 9 and 5/6 minus 4 and 3/4. Again, you're going to look at the numerators. The denominator doesn't get subtracted. You just rewrite it. 5 minus 3, I can do 5, so it'd be a 2. And then I do 9 minus 4 with the whole number is 9, 5. So 5 and 2/6 is technically correct, although it's nicer to reduce your fraction if it's can be. Since these are both even numbers, you can reduce them. So you just, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 would be 3. So my final answer would be 5 1/3. Let me grab another one. I find doing a few of these helps. All right. 3 2/3 minus 1/9. All right, first step was find the common denominator. So again, I have to find a common denominator here. So I can change the 3 into a 9 by multiplying this whole thing times 3. So I'm going to rewrite. The big 3 doesn't change. 3 times 3 is 9 on the bottom. 3 times 2 is 6 on top. And then I just subtract 1/9. Then the second step, I didn't write these, I'm sorry. Second step is to look at numerators and see if I can subtract. So the 6 minus the 1, the 6 is larger, so I can. So I'm going to put my denominator. 6 minus 1 would be 5. 3 minus, there is no whole number, so you just leave the 3. These are odd numbers that can't be divided by the same, so I'm done. Trying to find one more that's kind of the harder. All right. Let's do 6 1/3 minus 1 11/12. All right, so first step, look at the denominators. I need to change the 3 to a 12. So what times 3 gives me 12 times 4? All right, so 6 doesn't change. 4 times 3 is 12 on the bottom. 4 times 1 is 4 on top. And then I just rewrite 6. I'm sorry, I got distracted by text. This is a 1 and 11 over 12. All right, so then my next step is to leave the denominator the same. 4 minus 11. 4 is smaller, so I'm going to have to borrow from the 6. So I borrow becomes a 5. I add the denominator to the numerator for my new top number. So 12 plus 4 is 16. So now I can do 16 minus 11. 16, 6. So that'd be 5. And then I have 5 minus 1. So 4. And I double check. Can I reduce my fraction? Nope. I am done because odd over even can't be divided by the same thing. All right, let's look for one more. All right, here's a good one to do. So I have a whole number 5 minus 2 3/4. So I'm looking at denominators. Well, I don't have a fraction here, do I? But I can create a fraction. I can borrow from the 5 and make it a 4. Now you just do a whole number, and remember it's the denominator that matters. So this is a 4 on the bottom, and to make a whole number, you put the exact same numerator, 4 over 4. 4 over 4 is the same thing as 1, which if I added 1 to the 4 would give me my 5. So that's how we can borrow. So now I'm just gonna subtract. Denominator doesn't change, put a 4. Numerator, 4 minus 3 gives me 1. The big numbers, well, this should be a big number. Sorry, not to confuse you. 4 minus 2 would be 2. Already reduced as far as it can go. All right, let me know if you need a couple more examples. Happy to help.